What's up, y'all? Jake the A-hole in the house, and we are about to do some live streaming. You know how we do around here. In the house. Who is that? To do some live streaming. Oh, it's me. You know how we do around here. I do. Jake knows how we do around here. All right. Who is here today? Rose Bell's here. She says, hello, everybody. Andy's here giving me the thumbs up. That's right. Smash those thumbs up. Don't just give me one from wherever you're sitting. I need you to smash the thumbs up button. Just whatever it takes to get it to go up. That's what the tube likes. The tube likes it when you have lots of thumbs up. So I've been told. So we're going to shove our thumbs right up the YouTube's butt. You hear that, YouTube? All of us collectively, we're going to shove our thumbs in your butt right here, right now. Let's do it. Ooh, I think we just made YouTube come. Who knew that that's how YouTube gets off? With thumbs in the butt. But they do. All right. I just made that up. I like it. Starting with something good. All right. Got Q and Fee here. The legendary Q and Fee, I might add. An actual YouTube legend. There's not many of them who show up here who I will promote. But he's one of them. He sure is. He tells me to strap on, Jake. Oops, I mean right on, Jake. Yeah. He's a funny guy, this guy. Bill Thomas with the thumbs up. Stephen Landry with the thumbs up. All right. Good times. Cat with a happy Father's Day. Oh, yeah. Shit. I have to call my dad, I guess, after this. All right. Who else is here? Jonna's here. Also welcoming Q and Fee. Hi, Jonna. Hello to all my mods and everyone else. You guys ready to have a fun show? Fun stream? I am. So, the alien backyard thing that happened in Las Vegas. It's been like a week, but I noticed all of the news stations got really big ratings. So even regular news outlets, local news outlets, were getting millions of views by covering it. And so they all seem to go back to the well multiple times on the story. And so since they did well with the views, they got lots of people talking, coming back multiple times. You can bet your ass they're going to do this type of shit more often. So it worked very well. They got a lot of people talking about the government covering up aliens because that's what they're feeding you. And so we'll get into the backyard aliens thing. We'll break it down in detail. And if you already saw my video breaking it down, we're going to go way farther than that. We're going to get into several different clips, and then we'll move on to Trump's fake arrest, his supposed indictment, and then we can get into the drag queen night at Dodger Stadium. But first, let's get into the aliens in the backyard stuff, because it's just a fun subject to dissect and break down and prove that it's all this fake bullshit. QNFE says, I'm kind of in a cave last month and follow nothing. Enlighten me on the alien subject, Jake. Absolutely. In fact, I'm glad to hear you say that because a lot of people don't follow mainstream news and they only hear about the fake shit through me. So when you stop watching the news, but you are a sub to the Jake the Asshole channel, you're going to get to hear about some of the most absurd stories that the news is trying to push. So with that said, strap in, kiddies. Get your drinks and your snacks and your smoke ready. We're going to bust some Las Vegas aliens. Q, if you haven't heard about this one, you are going to die. Literally. Just kidding. Or am I?
Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry.
All right, let's stop right there. And for those of you who saw my video breakdown, I'm going to repeat a little bit of it. But for those of you who haven't, it'll all be new to you. So first thing I notice is like this kid right here, who's supposedly the witness. He's wearing a Masonic checkerboard on his shirt. Okay, what else? The Simpsons. The Simpsons have 9/11 predictive programming in their episodes, as well as other events. They also have two alien characters who attack Earth and invade Earth in several different episodes. So the Simpsons just so happen to have these alien characters that they bring back every year for a series of episodes where they attack Earth and enslave humans and whatnot. And also just so happens to have the Masonic background. So little things like that. And it says that this object, this is what he's saying, this object, it was blurry. Okay, so let's keep the story straight. They have blurry camouflage, is what he's trying to tell you. These are aliens with blurry camouflage. Reminds me of that Mitch Hedberg joke. Bigfoot is blurry. That's right, Bigfoot is blurry. There's a large, out-of-focus monster roaming the countryside. Ha! So apparently now aliens are blurry, right? It's not something you do in post-production with special effects. No, they're already pre-blurry. Right, okay. So we see a green flash go across the sky. Green flash. Can a green flash be fake? Yes. Can you make a green flash for real with fireworks? Yes. So you can have a green flash be fake with CGI or be real and have it just be some fireworks shit. Does a green flash equal an alien spaceship? No, it doesn't. So they show us green flash.
At nearly the same time,
and then at nearly the same time, we get this sound effect.
Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash.
Wow, that sound effect. Of course, that sound effect has to be that green thing crashing into the ground. No way can you just play a sound effect and then say that it's correlated to this green thing. No, those two things absolutely have to be related. If you hear a sound on a video camera on the news, that means it has to be in direct correlation to the green light that you saw on the news. See what they want you to believe. Here's a green light. Here's a sound effect. Green light made that sound effect in these people's backyard. Okay, are we ready to hear the rest of this wonderful story? What do you think so far, Q? Looks like a model. All right, you're going to like the rest of this story. It gets good.
One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay, imagine, if you will, that you just got visited by space aliens. How do you think you would react? Would you call 911 and say, they have big eyes, they have big mouth, shiny eyes, they're not human, 100% not human? Is that how you would act if space aliens were in your backyard? Hey, you know what? How come he didn't whip out his phone and film these aliens? Hey, wait a minute. Wait, didn't he say that they were blurry? So they went from being camouflaged blurry to now they have big eyes, shiny eyes, big mouth, not human. Oh, I thought they were blurry. Bro, what happened to the blurry camouflage? Dude. Suddenly you can see their shiny eyes and their big mouth, and they're also blurry and camouflaged. Which is it? At what point were they blurry and camouflaged and then stop? Apparently, this guy gets on the phone and calls 911. And he's like, yeah, they're like totally not human. Big eye, big mouth and stuff. Yeah, totally, man. It's like, but can't seem to film any of it. So there's been a bunch of videos circulating with blurry images, but they're all fake. We'll get into that. So anyone out there who thinks, no, I did see one of the videos did have a blurry image. Yeah, but they're all fake. If it's on the news and all the mainstream media outlets are running with it, then it's fake. All right, get a few comments in here. Timothy Gold says shiny eyes and went do 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 do. I saw alien crash in my backyard, and it had like it had space laser, and the laser was like do 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 do, and then we tried to run, and it was like do 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 do. Oh my god! Ah. See, that'd have been funnier. Should have got the Chinese girl to tell us aliens crashed. Crash in my backyard. They have big eye, big mouth. They try and fly away. All right. Okay, let's continue.
Eight News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of the 3 times we accepted their invitation to do an interview, they didn't answer the door or their phone. These are some of the claims they've made in other public forums. Multiple family members backed up the story in an initial police report we obtained. Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of the yard where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, so it's already been proven that you can go find that circle was already there, I guess, through like Google Images and stuff. So even the news has already come out and admitted that that circle couldn't have been made by a craft because it was already there. So this whole story about him seeing an alien go to the tractor and then they heard feet and pitter patter. Hold up. So the aliens didn't crash, they stopped there just to check out that tractor, apparently, and take a pee break. They just chose that place right there, that circle, and that tractor. They were like, wow, a tractor. We've never seen one of these. We need to fucking look at this and try and figure out how it works because we're aliens and we just don't know. So they chose this spot. This is the story they want you to believe, really. And that an alien got out and checked out that tractor. Okay, so they just stopped for an alien pee break just to make themselves known to these people, check out that tractor. But then they got back in the spaceship and took off. Yeah, man. So the spaceship didn't crash. No. They just stopped there just to take a pee break and look at that tractor. Of course. That's what aliens do. They come from 800 million bajillion sextillion light years away so that they can, like, take a pee break in your backyard, check out a random tractor and stuff, freak out some kid wearing a Simpsons shirt, of course. And this got millions and millions of views. Every single news outlet that ran with this got a ton of views. And they went back to the well several times with this story. So you better believe they're going to have several other stories lined up like this throughout the years. So now they're really pushing this whole, we want you to believe in aliens. The government needs to just come out and admit that they have lots of spaceships. And now that's the thing that they're doing. They're basically now just straight up coming out like, okay, yeah, aliens are out there and we do probably, maybe, yes, we do have their spaceships now. So in clips I'll show you later, now it's like they want it to be considered the norm to think that they have alien spaceships and alien bodies. And they're already reverse engineering it. Oh yeah, that's what they want you to believe. Just like out of Independence Day. They want you to believe that they have, these alien bodies and alien ships that crashed, and all that technology is just being, reverse engineered. They can set the table for an alien attack that they can say is aliens, or they can even be like, China reverse engineered the UFO technology and attacked us, or Russia. See, so they can even be like, what would be the funniest? The Taliban or Al Qaeda found a flying saucer, reverse engineered the technology. Now the Taliban and Al Qaeda are teaming up and they both have flying saucers now. See, the sheep would believe that shit. You could literally have a city get attacked by flying saucers and you could be like, it's not aliens, it's Al Qaeda. They found the alien spaceship. Right? It's the Chinese Taliban. Yes. All right, let's continue with this lovely story.
left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates cruising slowly past the house in the following days. Nellis and Creech have denied any interest or involvement with the incident. Metro has indicated they believe the family that something crashed in their yard. But what?
You mentioned, George, in that piece that, they were frozen because so many people have been critical of, like, why didn't they get their phone out? Why didn't they shoot the video? Do we know if there's even any video of this incident?
Yes and no. So there's a surveillance camera in the backyard. The property owner keeps that because he's got a lot of expensive equipment there. What we were told is that at the moment this thing comes down and crash, this camera went out, and it was out for a couple of minutes. When it came crash, this camera went out, and a lot of expensive equipment there. What we were told is that at the moment this thing comes down and crash, this camera went out, and
the moment that this thing came down, the camera went out. Can you believe that? What are the odds? Of course, the thing was just so powerful when it hit. Of course, it made the camera go out. But they have that other camera that recorded the noise. And then they have a shot of a green thing. So just assume that green thing hit the ground. But hey, wait a minute. If a green thing was to fucking crash land, don't you think it would leave a mark? Oh, wait, let's go back and look and see where the mark is from that green thing that they want us to believe crashed in the backyard. See, other stories are so stupid. Okay, where did it crash? Right here? That's not a crash site. If an alien spaceship that is like a glowing green comet thing makes a noise that goes, pew, then that means there should be a crater, a crash crater. And there's not. So did the aliens bury their own crater before they left? Did they clean up? So they want you to buy that there was a crash, and it's directly related to an alien sighting, yet we don't have an impact. No, this is not an impact. This is just some tire marks on the ground. There's nothing. So, seems to me like spaceship crashing kind of goes out the window when there's no evidence of a spaceship crashing. Quite the opposite. But the news just tries to slip that one past you. Here's a green light. Here's a sound effect. These people claim they saw an alien. You do the rest with your own imagination. That's how they get you. They lead you in that direction with your own imagination and let you retardify yourself. It was the aliens who were the green thing. The green thing crashed in these people's yard, and that kid called the police and he saw them. They were blurry and they had big shiny eyes and mouth. And they're not human. Nope. They're like 8 feet tall. No, 9 feet tall. No, 10 feet tall. 11. These ones go to 11. These weren't regular aliens. No. Regular aliens might be like 10 feet tall. These went up to 11. They were 11-foot tall aliens, of course. Isn't it? Right. There you go. I tied in Spinal Tap to the Backyard Aliens. And I totally didn't have that scripted and ready to go because I don't script shit. This guy knows. Zaire Thomas, he gets it. All right. Okay, let's get to the bottom of this backyard alien shit here. Okay, so they give us the story, and the evidence includes green flash, which, as I said, that could be fireworks. I've actually seen a really gnarly looking green flash in the sky. No joke, not making this up for comedy. This is for real. I've seen a gnarly green comet looking thing, way crazier than what they showed there on the news. And it was like a combination of like a comet and lightning, but it was like green, and it lit up a huge portion of the sky. And I went home and went to talk about it on Facebook, and there were other people who had seen it too, saying, "What? I saw this green thing." So I have seen a green thing. However, the one I saw didn't make a noise. It didn't crash into the ground, and I didn't assume it was aliens. So have I seen a crazy green thing? Yeah. Have maybe you seen something that's crazy in the sky that you can't explain? Probably. However, assuming that like it's space aliens, that's where they want you to make that jump. So I'm here to tell you, don't make that jump. Don't be so stupid as enough to think that if you see something in the sky you can't explain, automatically space aliens, because they already conditioned us with all these movies, predictive programming through all the Hollywood space movies. So what you have to do is you have to know what they're doing, see why they're doing it, and of course not fall for their bullshit. And if you're part of my audience, you probably already know that. It just goes without saying, of course, if you're part of my audience, but I get a kick out of exposing it. There's always at least one or two people who are learning something new in the audience. Sailing the Honey Badger says, you almost went into Arnold. I did? I almost accidentally went into Arnold without trying. It's like one of those times where you just like accidentally turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like you're just talking regular, and then you start to talk like this, and you cannot help it. This is an accident. And I started to go into Arnold without even trying. And then when I got there, I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe that I. All right. Okay. Let me get back on track. So now they want to push this whole notion that the aliens are real and that the government's hiding them, you know, just like they show you in the movies like Independence Day and stuff. So this next news report, this is like mainstream media. Now they're straight coming out being like, we, as in the government, have at least 12 crafts that are alien. At least 12. Check this story out.
In recent reporting, author Michael Schellenberger writes that multiple sources have confirmed whistleblower David Grush's claim that the United States government possesses a number of non-human vehicles. These sources are, quote, either high-ranking intelligence officials, former intelligence officials, or individuals who could be verified as being involved in the United States government UAP efforts for 3 or more decades, according.
Do you like the way they start that just right out of the gate? The U.S. has 12 or more alien spacecraft. So remember, it wasn't long ago where you were considered a crackpot idiot if you believed in aliens, and anyone who ever talked about seeing aliens was just making it up, and they were an idiot. Now fast forward to 2023, and it's like, okay, the U.S. does have at least 12 or more alien spacecraft. You like that? 12 or more? So they could have 13, 14. They could have 12 sextillion. Anywhere from 12 to infinity, but definitely not 11. They definitely don't have 11. No. They definitely don't have 11 or less. They definitely have 12 or more. I think that they have 6 sextillion and 6.6. 6 sextillion and 6.6 spacecraft is how many that they really have. So now they just come out and tell you, like, yes, the government has alien spaceships. Lots of them. More than 12. And then her source is like, well, our source is these are people who worked for the government. That was the source. According to the government, and people tied back to the government has 12 or more alien spacecraft.
His reporting. Schellenberger writes that the individuals said they had seen or been presented with, quote, credible and verifiable evidence that the U.S. government and U.S. military contractors possess at least 12 or more alien spacecraft, some of which they shared with AARO or the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, quote, which AARO has refused to provide Congress. The office reportedly said it has not discovered any verifiable information, end quote, because it does not have the authority to verify it and may not want to verify it. Joining us now to discuss is Twitter Files author and author of Apocalypse Never, Michael Schellenberger. Thank you for being with us, Michael.
Good to be with you.
So, confirmation, aliens are real. This is exciting. What do you make of the baker's dozen of alien spacecraft that we have?
See how they casually just dropped that one? Well, this is exciting. Aliens are real. We have confirmation. What do you think about the baker's dozen of alien spacecraft? Well, I am a guy and I'm an alien expert and I have credentials of being an alien expert because I'm an alien expert. And let me tell you about aliens and spacecraft. See how now, like, they've intertwined, like, believing in aliens is like a scientifically proven thing that everyone should just, like, believe in space aliens. Of course, space aliens are here. Of course, the government has their crafts. We've got tons of them. Psh. I've seen so many aliens, so of course, me and my friends, we fucking recovered an alien spacecraft and we're reverse engineering it too. It's nothing new. Hasn't everyone recovered an alien craft by now? They're common. Right? They crash land in people's backyards so damn often now that, like, of course, you and everybody should have reverse engineered a craft by now, and if not, you're stupid. There you go. Oh, first super chat of the night says Paul Halo Cat. I used to call him Hollow Quat. Paul Halo Cat with a donation says, Jake, thanks for exposing all the nonsense. The only aliens in America get everything for free. Yes, the illegal aliens as in immigrants. Yeah, that's a whole other deal. And I knew somebody would make that joke. But no, I'm talking about, of course, space aliens. The government, they really want you now, as you can see by the way they're parading these stories on mainstream news and whatnot. They really want you to believe in space aliens. And they want you to think that, like, it's just a fact, right? And so they can create these stories that get millions of views and tons of people talking, and they can do very little work to get there. They can show you a green flash, play a sound effect, and then be like, aliens, And people are like, I knew it. I always knew that in my lifetime they'd come out and admit that the aliens are here and that they're real. And now they're just casually doing it. They're here. They're real. We admit it. Aliens. Mm-hmm. Yep. Have you had them crash in your backyard yet? No? Oh, you will. You will. They crashed in my backyard last week. Kind of getting sick of it. All these aliens crashing everywhere. It's like, okay, we know you're here. We get it. All right. Got to have fun with this, right? What are we going to do? Get mad that they're being so stupid and ridiculous with their stories and that stupid, ridiculous people believe in the stupid ridiculousness? It sucks that that is the way of the world, but the only thing I can do is just make fun of it and laugh. Like, what am I going to be like? I can't believe the government's lying about these damn UFOs. I'm so mad. It's like it doesn't work. Instead, I just have to be like, holy shit. This is the level of tardation we have reached now. They have 12 or more spaceships. It was like what? It wasn't just like but a couple decades back. It's like you would have been looked at like you were a crazy person if you said the government has 12 or more ships. But now the news is telling you that that's the story. Oh, good times.
Well, I think it's worth just pointing out that this is very shocking. The whistleblower in question, David Grush, used a term ontological shock, which is a little bit of jargon, but what he means is that the idea that we are not alone in the abstract is something that everybody, I mean, not everybody, but many people, the large majority of people agree with, that we are almost certainly not alone in the universe.
Whenever the news brings up a whistleblower, that's somebody who's controlled. So whenever they're like, oh, this whistleblower, blah, 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 yeah, if the news says the word whistleblower, then whatever the name is a controlled name, not blowing any real whistles. So here they have a whistleblower telling you we're not alone. Oh, wow. Well, thanks for blowing that whistle. Gee, I thought we were alone until that guy blew the whistle and said we aren't alone, and now I know that the government's lying. Because that guy blew his whistle so loudly that this guy heard and is talking about how loud that whistle is, that we're not alone. It's all based on the premise that that they want you thinking that all the stars and galaxies out there have to have planets, and out of all the planets there has to be life. So it all comes down to their fake phony story, which they've pushed in all the Hollywood movies, that the aliens come from outer space, and the outer space they come from is in the form of other planets out there, you know, in the stars. So when you look up at the stars, you see some twinkly dots. They want you to believe if you keep going hundreds of millions of light years out there, you're going to have planets that are just like Earth, and that there's going to be living creatures there that are more advanced and smart, and that they made it here. That's their story. And even that is ridiculous when you really think about it. Their whole story, even if space was real, there being these other entities that have to be on these other planets, that have to be just like Earth, that have to be more advanced, and they have to come visit you. It's still ridiculous. And so they really love to push this ridiculous notion, and they've conditioned people with the Hollywood movies to where it's second nature for people, and it's exciting and entertaining for people to hear that we're not alone. You're not alone. Oh, I always knew that we weren't alone. There's aliens. I always knew that there were aliens because I watched E.T. and E.T. came to the kid's house and E.T. hung out with the kids. I always knew that one day I was going to get to hang out with aliens. It's coming true. That's what they want. That's how stupid they want you to be. And that's how stupid most people are. Aliens are going to come to my house and hang out with me. just like in the movies. All right, Dr. E. Vales says, do RFB reporting aliens. I've been trying to tell you guys, all right, for I don't know how long. The alien invasion is not just going to be the government, all right? It's going to be highly sophisticated Chinese drones, all right? They're going to disguise themselves as the Russians. But don't be fooled. It's going to be a highly sophisticated Chinese outfit. They're going to be infiltrating your anus with invisible drones, all right? I've seen how the technology works, all right? I talked to a guy who subs my channel and he buys a lot of gold and silver. So there is this and there is that. And if you want to buy gold and silver, you can use my promo code down below and I'll get to keep some of your theoretical gold and silver. All right. As a thank you to me. All right. But at any rate, I digress. All right. I think I feel one of those little invisible buggers down there right now trying to infiltrate my asshole. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to get my Bible. I'm going to tuck it square beneath my legs. All right. And then I'm going to shove it up in there so that when the Chinese invisible drones try to get up in there, they're going to be blocked by the word of God. All right. The most powerful thing there ever was. But at any rate, I digress. So like, share, and subscribe, but don't. I'm out. All right. There you go. Phew. All right. All right, guys. You guys having fun? Who's having fun? Hit the like button. You guys, we have confirmation of aliens. Richie from Boston just made a visit. Where else can you have this much fun? The answer, nowhere. Hit the like button. We haven't even got to the end of this little backyard alien shenanigan investigation. Like that? All those words kind of sound similar. At any rate, I digress. I'm not sure at what rate one should digress. However, there is a rate in which I like to digress, and it is at any rate. Any rate is, of course, any rate in which I choose to do the digressing. All right. Okay, we're up to 149 thumbs up. Let's get it up to 165 thumbs up. That sounds like a reachable goal. 165 thumbs up. Let's get it there right now. I'm going to hold the stream hostage because I have over 300 people watching, and I know you guys are holding out on the thumbs. Now, let me tell you what. I said this earlier. I'm going to say it again. YouTube gets off when you stick your thumb up its bum. That's right. Stick your thumb up its bum. That's how YouTube gets off. We're almost there. All right, we made it. So now you guys get to do me the solid of getting me 175 thumbs up because we've already cruised to 170, so we might as well get 5 more. 175 thumbs up is what we need, and we're going to continue. All right, good job, guys. You're a good audience. You followed direction well. I shall reward you with more comedy and shenanigans.
However, the idea that there may already be contact or have been contact for quite a while between the US military and non-human intelligence, non-human life forms is very shocking. And it's shocking for me personally. There's things I kept out of the story that I think were just too shocking and certainly harder to confirm. But I do think it's clear that the
All right, we got the 33 on the screen, and then of course the Atari graphics. That's like their new favorite thing is like, okay, it is 2023. Everybody has, 4K ability to film on their phone. Let's break out the 80s Atari graphics. Let's break out like the worst computer graphics imaginable and throw that on screen while we're trying to tell people, yes, aliens are confirmed. You know, look, they happen to fit the 33 in there. They always figure out a way to get their numbers in there. And then, like I said, what are they playing here? Like Top Gun for NES, right? They playing Star Trek for the Vectrex. Playing some Vectrex graphics on screen. Like, aliens exist. Here's some 80s Atari / Vectrex graphics. It's all the proof you need. All right, Jake Ayanarino says, can you do impressions of Simon Dan trying to seduce Richie from Boston? The personal incredulity. Wow, that's a specific, interesting request. Let me see what I can do. Simon Dan trying to seduce Richie from Boston. In today's episode, I'm going to try and save a very sexy man from becoming a flat earther. Richie from Boston, he's on the fringe of becoming a flat earther. And if I can get him to come over to my side, the globe-tord side, and lick my balls, I know I can turn him into a globe-tord for life. So I'm going to invite Richie from Boston to lick my balls and become a globe-tord and become part of my cult. It will be my honor to knight him, Sir Balls-a-lot, with my balls upon his tongue. I don't know. That was weird, wasn't it? I just had to make something up, and that was what I came up with. I, of course, do not accept Simon Dan's advances, all right? I am not a flat earther, all right? I believe this plane is indeed made of Chinese nanobots, with it could be construed as being flat, but that is neither here nor there. I have not had sex in at least 40 years because it goes against God. And being in a relationship with another man, whether he's a Simon or any man, is blasphemy, and I will not partake in such shenanigans. All right, there you go. There you go. That's what you get for $5. You're welcome. I see a bunch of laughing emojis, so I think I did something good. Sunflower says, can you do Alex Stein covering aliens? Proton 89 on the grunt all the dang time. I've been touring the country in women's bathing suits. Because I'm a truther. I've been wearing women's bathing suits because I'm Proton 99 on the grind all the time, all the Stein all the time. You don't know how I grind? I'm grinding all the time, wearing women's bathing suits where the material goes up my butt. I went out and I saw children. Children saw me in a woman's bathing suit. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to gaslight the liberals. Yeah, the liberals. They're so bad that, like, I'm going to wear a woman's bathing suit. Yeah. The Prime Time 99 on the grind all the time. I'm not 9. I'm the Stein on the grind. 99 and 99 times. There you go. There you go. And thank you, Sunflower, for the generous donation from Canada. I appreciate that. I was actually meaning to do like a little breakdown of what Alex has been up to. I guess we can get to that maybe a little later and just do a short segment on what Alex does. He literally now just wears women's bathing suits and does that in public. And apparently that's supposed to be comedy now. Just wear a women's bathing suit. Just literally do the Illuminati dress-wearing ritual over and over again. And that's supposed to be comedy. So all the people that were like, I think Alex Stein is funny. It's like, yeah, go look what he does now. He wears women's bathing suits in front of children. Yeah, you can't, like, make fun of gay people by blowing a dude. You're like, oh, I'm going to make fun of gay people by blowing a dude. No, you can't. So that's kind of what he's doing now. It's like he's wearing a woman's bathing suit in front of children. And people are like, oh, he's doing that to gaslight the liberals. Yeah. Oh, really? he wears a woman's bathing suit in front of children because he's making fun of liberals. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you've seen his last like several, I don't keep up with him or whatever, but the last time I did check in, it was like a few videos back to back of him with a woman's bathing suit on. And it's like there's no substance to it. It's just like he puts on the bathing suit and then he goes out in public and gets reactions because he's a man wearing a woman's bathing suit. Not funny. No comedic substance whatsoever. All right, let's wrap up this alien in the backyard shit, and then we'll move on.
Conversation about this has progressed from the idea that the Pentagon simply has some videos to a large and growing number of people with reason to know who say that, in fact, there are non-human spacecraft.
That is very intriguing that there's things that you left out of the story. I hope that you'll continue to investigate them. I'm wondering how exactly these sources determined that these crafts were non-human. Was it the material they were made out of, the method of construction? How exactly did they make that determination?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there wasn't much doubt. There are programs, according to these folks, that exist to not just study these technologies, but attempt to reverse engineer them. There was some honestly, there wasn't much doubt. There are programs.
How did you know that they weren't human? Like, did you test the stuff that they were made out of? Oh, there wasn't much doubt. There are programs and people. Oh, great proof. She asked like a simple question like, how did you know? There's not much doubt. Oh, okay. Well, as long as this guy tells us that there's not much doubt, then we know that that's 100% guaranteed. Aliens, for sure. All right. So the government now pushing a bunch of mainstream puppets on you, basically coming out and telling you straight up aliens are real. Confirmation, totally. Everything you've ever wondered about aliens, totally true. That's where they want you. They want your mind full of alien bullshit now. If they have your mind full of alien bullshit, they have you right where they want you. In Never Land. In Fantasyland. If they have you locked away in Fantasyland for the majority of your life, they've got you. Or for all of your life, they've got you locked up in a mental jail cell. All right, I found a video breaking down the backyard aliens. So we'll check that out now. I haven't showed this before. So I found the supposed video of the aliens in the backyard. You guys ready? Here it is. Aliens in the backyard. For sure. Confirmed. You guys are about to witness aliens. Are you ready? Never seen an alien? Get ready. Here they come. It's alien time. The craziest aliens you've ever seen.
Look at what I'm calling the Vegas backyard aliens video that Angel posted. Here's the first video, just regular speed. Lochero, I think she's saying, she's telling them to close the gate. Anyway, let's slow it down. And I want you to look at the lower right in the fence. You see some motion there. And at first, I thought it was shadows, but as you look closer, you can actually see there are 3 points. There's sort of a triangle, and there's actually something you can see it's breaching the fence. It's like a hand. You can see 3 points there moving up. This motion is happening as these guys are backpedaling. So you would first naturally think that this was related to that. But the more you watch it and the closer you look at it, as we zoom in, you can see that there's something physical. It's not shadows, it's not light. There is something physical there, like hands or feet or whatever. Here's the second part. This one is a little less clear. But look out beyond the section I highlight here.
Okay, so here's the thing: is a bunch of people took this part and then they doctored it, and so you have government puppets, government agencies taking this footage, which is already fake, and then doctoring it themselves, and then throwing that into the mix. And then the news comes out after a few days and says, don't fall for these fake images which depict a blurry alien, because those are fake. So this, of course, gives the news the credibility to be the ones to dismiss what is and isn't fake. So this is like a double-pronged psychological operation in a way, where they can release this right here, this little video, and then they can have something blurry in the background, and then people can then doctor that footage, doctor that, and add an alien, add something blurry, and say, look, it's an alien. And then those all go viral, and then the news can come out and say, oh, those blurry alien pictures and videos, those are not real, so don't fall for those. Make sure you listen to us, the news, and we'll let you know what's really going on. See? So they make themselves the ones who are credible in this investigation by having some fake alien videos and fake alien pictures show up, which they tell you are fake. And of course, the whole damn thing is fake. So if you were on social media, there was a strong chance, like on Facebook, Instagram, all that shit, that you saw one of these pictures with like a blurry alien in the background, and then a bunch of people believing it's real. Yeah, it's right up there with Bigfoot. Aliens, Bigfoot, whatever. If they can get you believing in mythical creatures all day long, then they gotcha. Yeah, don't you love how we have these 4K phones? You know, everyone can film and zoom in, but you know what they do is they call 911, and then we get this footage. So someone did film, but just not the aliens. And then what is supposed to be the aliens is just a blurry spot, right? Gotta love it, of course.
You can see a sort of a shadow get smaller, like it's getting behind that forklift, and then a light turning on, or an eye, or whatever it is. And what's interesting about this is it's not as if the light is being revealed by the camera moving, because the camera is moving straight down, right? The camera stays on the same plane, but the light suddenly, boom. This video is really fascinating to me, primarily because the people in it aren't necessarily seeing what we see when we watch it back.
At Tractor Supply.
But the more you watch it,
So that's enough for some people to believe in aliens. And there was a guy here that told me that this is real and that I'm sounding like a conspiracy nut. That guy just got banned. So if you're going to tell me that this is real and I'm a conspiracy nut and you're just kidding, just make sure that I don't think that you're pissed, you know, that you're being sincere, and then I'll ban you. So just letting you guys know, if you're so sarcastic as to like you agree with me, but you make a joke like saying you're a conspiracy nut and this is totally real, then I might think that you're a sheeple and I'll get rid of you. If that makes sense. Yeah, see, this I know is like someone being sarcastic, and I like comments like this. Is dude, it's totally legit. I saw at least 5 pixels. Yeah, man. Atari graphics, a green thing in the sky, a sound effect. Pew! This blurry shit right here. What more do you need? We're not alone. We are not alone. Of course, aliens come here and visit. Of course, they crash land in backyards. It's a common thing nowadays. Yeah, every once in a while, I wonder, like, if somebody is like making fun of me or if they're just being sarcastic, because it's like, but it sounded like this guy was like, no, he told me the blurriness is real, and that I'm just sounding like a conspiracy nut, and the way like he chose conspiracy nut, yeah, that's just not sounding like someone who's making a clever joke. This guy says, you people still don't get it. We are the aliens. And this guy knows. He knows he's an alien. And he knows that you don't get that he's an alien. I get it, bro. You're an alien. Cool. Thanks for being here, Mr. Alien. All right. It is hard to tell sometimes, Sunflower. I enjoy some good sarcasm, but you got to make it totally noticeable and funny. All right. Let's move on to the Michu Kaku portion. They got to whip out their resident smart guy, their Disney character, to tell you, of course, that these aliens are real. Before I do that, got a super chat coming in from Paul Halo Cat. He says, Jake, out of all the states you traveled, which state is the very best out of all of them and why? Oh, that's a tough question to say whether a state is best. Because they have different things about them that I like, and then different things about them that I don't like. Oh, I really liked Oregon. I don't have a whole lot of bad things to say about Oregon. So Portland kind of sucks, but outside of Portland, it's all pretty much like, it's pretty nice, especially the coast. And I like the fact that all the towns have dispensaries and just like kind of a laid back kind of vibe, really pretty. Everything's just aesthetically pleasing from the mountains to the coast. So the drives are really nice, pretty. And I notice when I'm in an area that's aesthetically pleasing that it just makes me feel better. It makes the car rides better. It just makes being there in the moment better. And so I have to say, Oregon is pretty damn sweet. It's got a lot of things like California has, but it has a lot less people. And so, shit, if I was forced to choose, I guess I would choose Oregon. Taylor Parker says downtown Oregon is a hellhole. I think you mean Portland. Because Oregon, the state, I think you know where you screwed up there. You mean Portland. And I said, yeah, Portland is a big city, and it's similar to San Francisco, and I was not impressed by it. However, the Oregon coast is extremely impressive. And there's a lot of beautiful little towns and mountain ranges and just really pretty places. Just take a drive on Highway 101 and tell me what you think. In my opinion, the nicest drive that I've ever taken in this country is in Oregon on Highway 101. So, God, if I had to pick, yeah, that would have to be the one. All right, so the Michikaku video, he, of course, had to be wheeled out when this alien backyard thing happened. And I'm convinced now that Michikaku is totally a person in a mask. I don't think this is an actual old dude. Here we go. So before I even play it, look at the lines on his face. Or lack thereof. Somebody who's like this old should have more defined wrinkles and have like pores and stuff. Like I've got some pores that are kind of big and stuff, and I'm only 40. And so to see somebody with like skin that looks like almost too latexy, and between the hair and then the face and the eyes, there's something just very mask looking about this thing. And then of course this creature right here. So it's like they have two non-human looking creatures here. One of them wearing a mask, and then this thing, which use your own imagination what you think this thing is, with this lizard looking face and this jaw and this nasty looking neck.
Well, journalists say, follow the money. We physicists say, follow the evidence. Follow the people who have access to the evidence. Now, this is right out of a Hollywood script. In the past, we've had farmers and suburbanites say they saw something out there. The burden of proof was on them to prove that they were extraterrestrial visitations. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And they saw something out there. The burden of evidence. Now this is right out of a Hollywood script. Evidence. Now this is right out of a Hollywood script.
Okay, that's the only truth that's going to come out of that guy's mouth. So that mask-wearing puppet pushing propaganda on the public, that's the only true thing he's going to say is this is right out of a Hollywood script. That's the only truth going to come out of this liar's mask face. Everything else is going to be pure scientific propaganda. So here they have this Disney character. This guy's right in the same club with Bill Nye the Science Guy or Neil deGrasse Tyson. They bring out a guy like this to say that the burden of proof used to be on the farmer who claimed to see these UFOs to prove that they exist. But now the burden of proof has shifted to the Pentagon to prove that they don't exist. So now they got this guy basically on Team Alien saying that the government has to prove that they don't exist. So they use characters like this to further push the notion that the government is indeed covering up the existence of space aliens, and they just need to come out with it already. So it's funny how not long ago you were a crackpot crazy person for believing in space aliens, but now it's like it's the norm. The television totally wants you to think that, like, for sure the government has multiple alien spacecraft, and it's common for aliens to visit and crash and have their ships recovered. David Yount says, such a stupid fake story. Oh, wait, so fake it's got to be real. They got a bunch of views on this. So as dumb as this is, the regular news outlets running the story were getting 6-7 million views on a YouTube video. So if they're getting 6-7 million views on a YouTube video, then that means people are watching on TV. That means people are talking about it. And then they go back to the well, and then they re-report on the same story, talk about the family has blacked out their windows. The family has men in black visiting their house. The family feels threatened by all the attention and stuff. Yeah, that's more to get you thinking that the whole thing's real and legitimate. So the family's in on it. The whole story's fake. The media's in on it. But they want you to believe that, like, you can have aliens crash land in your backyard, and this could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. And this is just the sort of thing that needed to happen for word to get out. Then they whip out your fake geniuses here who are like, the burden of proof has shifted to the Pentagon. Oh, well, this guy's going to call out the government. He doesn't call out the government for anything but aliens, right? When was the last time this guy called out the government for a damn thing? Oh, but now he's here to tell you that the burden of proof has shifted to the Pentagon. Well, thank you. I'm glad for you to tell me that that's where the burden of proof is now. I think the burden of proof is for somebody to prove that this guy's not wearing a mask. Because I think it's 100% proof. The burden of proof has shifted now on anyone saying this guy's not wearing a mask, right? And thank you, David Yount. I appreciate the donation, buddy. I appreciate the support. All right. So let's listen to some of this fantastical bullshit he's about to spew. And remember, the only real thing he said that's totally true and provable is this is right out of a Hollywood script. After that, get ready for some pseudo-fantastical, phantasmic bullshit. or whatever.
In the past, we've had farmers and suburbanites say they saw something out there. The burden of proof was on them to prove that they were extraterrestrial visitations. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And now we have this senior Pentagon official, former Pentagon official David Garouche, who says that there are evidence of not just the wreckage of UFOs, but an intact vessel, perhaps even the bodies. And again, the difference is that this is no longer just a farmer or a suburbanite saying they saw something out there. Now there's a debate within the Pentagon itself at the highest level, with different people within the military contradicting each other. And so I think that this is a good thing, because now perhaps the truth will come out.
So one of the claims that David Grush makes is that the evidence he has witnessed suggests that of the crash wreckage, some of the crash wreckage that's been retrieved, the elements are not of human origin. And he also states that they've recovered pilots, maybe singular, but it seemed as though it was of non-human species. And I can only...
So here you go, blatantly pushing the existence of space aliens, a whistleblower, UFO whistleblower. When they talk about a UFO whistleblower on the news, you know that that person's definitely controlled ops, and that their story is completely not credible. So they have to use this puppet wearing a mask and a supposed UFO whistleblower to push this notion that not only have aliens crashed here, but the government has recovered the spacecraft and the aliens. Straight up. And we already have movies. You know, Independence Day sticks out in my mind, where they went to Area 51 and they showed how they had the alien bodies. They had the old crash spaceship from Roswell, which ties into all the propaganda that they've set the table with for years and years and years. And so we have these images in our head of aliens in tubes. We have images in our head of the government holding on to spacecraft and alien bodies already, because that's what they conditioned us with already. So what are the chances that these Hollywood movies just so happen to portray all these things that end up happening? Yeah, this thing on the screen, this supposed female, definitely has some weird facial features. And then Michu definitely looks like a dude wearing a mask. As far as the soldier, that could just be anybody. That could just be a made up person right there. The soldier, the supposed whistleblower, you could just like make that face up out of a computer program and it not even be a real person. Yes, hit the like button, people. If you're having fun, we will continue here. But it does help if you hit the like button. YouTube gets off on having thumbs shoved up its bum. All right.
Only imagine that sort of gets your spidey senses tingling. What are your thoughts about that kind of possibility?
Well, I'm a scientist. We have to be open to the truth and to data. That's what we physicists work on. The more information we get, the better. Now, so far, we have not seen the smoking gun. We have not seen evidence of DNA, for example, from these alien bodies. We haven't seen alien transistors and alien circuits. That would clinch it right there.
So now they set the table for them to reveal that. So the next thing they can do is then have like the government with their rover on Mars find alien DNA or whatever. So then they can disclose we found the DNA, and then this guy would be like, "Well, that clinches it. All we needed to prove was them telling us that they found DNA, and they did tell us they found DNA, and I'm a scientist, so that clinches it. We aren't alone," right? Because that's proof, right? If the government says they found something, then that would clinch it. Bub's Cat came in with a super chat. Says, Jake, did you see Dubé's theory on Niner Oneer Oneer being beta tests for vaporizing towels a la Independence Day scene? Plausible? No, I haven't been over to his channel in a long time. So no, I haven't seen anything of what he's done. But that guy ain't nothing but controlled opposition anyway. Has been for as long as he's been around. So anything coming out of that guy you should take with a grain of salt. He also tells you to be vegan, and he pushes eating one vegan meal a day, which is terrible health advice for basically anybody. And it's a Illuminati death diet to tell people to eat nothing but fruits and vegetables once a day. And he still pushes that broke down circle model, which guys like Q and Fee and myself have destroyed, but he still pushes it, never mentions any of it, never corrects his work, never changes any of it. So he's still pushing circle sun over circle AE map. Still to this day, nothing more than the controlled rollout flat earth opposition. Controlled flat earth rollout opposition. Controlled ops. One of those combos. Piscean Errant says, I'm a scientist. Mucho Kaku 2023. I'm a scientist. If the government finds proof of alien DNA, I don't even have to look at the DNA. They just have to tell me they found it. I'm a scientist. I'll believe them. So that would clinch it. Aliens are real because I'm a scientist. Thank you for the donation from, I think that's New Zealand. Got some New Zealand money coming in. Yeah, Jenny, you might eat only once a day, but you're also not like a full-grown man who's like burning away calories. So the same way, it's like, so you might be able, but you also eat meat too. I know for a fact that you like to eat meat, whereas Eric Dubé has been anti-meat, anti-animal products, and that's a bad deal. Anyone who pushes the vegan diet, it's a shill. That's right, Kat.
No ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as we have alien DNA or an alien chip, end of story. However, we're not there yet because we just have eyewitness accounts of people who've encountered these things, but we don't have the smoking gun. And until we have the smoking gun, we scientists have to reserve our final judgment. But the very fact that we're talking about this at all is amazing. The burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial.
Wow, he even had to repeat that part again, right? So this guy's whole career is based upon pushing aliens, straight up. That's the whole reason that this guy is even on the television, is to push alien propaganda. That is his job. He's doing his job right here, leading the stupid sheep into La La Land by assuring them that definitely aliens are real and definitely this backyard alien story is amazing. And it's so wonderful that it's happening because now the truth is going to come out that you're not alone. Isn't it sad that so many people fall for that? Yeah, exactly. I would definitely say that, but if I say that, they might like misconstrue what I'm saying as hate and take down the stream. So I won't say it. But I agree with you. Press Place is glad to see you back on lives. Jake, miss you, bro. Well, I tried to go out and do the trip, and it just unfortunately wasn't a sustainable thing to be out on the road full time and make all the content and do everything while I'm out on the road. So back to work here in the office like usual, and I'm gonna be doing these streams, every week, even multiple times a week, depending how much fake news and what's going down in the world. But at least once a week, I'll be doing streams. And then come football season, I have a plan to absolutely annihilate the NFL this next season. And so that'll be fun. So lots of good stuff for the Jake the Asshole channel. Just another day at the office here breaking down this shit.
This is, I think, a milestone.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you and I are talking about this, and not because it was on, News of the World or a supermarket tabloid, is pretty remarkable. This is coming from a man who was an Air Force veteran, former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He's a whistleblower. He's not. Who was an Air Force veteran, former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He's a whistleblower. He was on, News of the World or a supermarket tabloid. It is pretty remarkable. This is coming from a man who was an Air Force veteran, former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He's a whistleblower.
He's part of the International blah, 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 Spatio Intelligence Agency. Whatever the hell she said. She had the word intelligence in there, right? And then he's a whistleblower. One more time. What the hell is his credentials? How do we know he's telling the truth? What is he? What does he do?
This is coming from a man who was an Air Force veteran, former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
Intelligence Agency. Oh, okay. So we can trust a guy who's from the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and he's a whistleblower. You guys know what the goal of the CIA is? The whole goal of the Central Intelligence Agency is to get the public to believe basically in nothing but nonsense. And once they get the public to believe in 100% nonsense, they've pretty much reached their goal. That's the goal of the CIA, is to make the public believe in nonsense. I gotta look up the exact saying. I'm paraphrasing it. Yeah. I was hoping somebody would post it. Thank you, Piscean Aaron. I went to go look it up, and I was like, CIA goal, and it's actually posting their actual goals. It's not. This is what I meant to say. We will know our job is complete when everything the public believes is false. Thank you. I was paraphrasing, but you know what I meant. So that's the goal of the CIA. So it's funny that this whistleblower, his credentials are that he was part of the Space Intelligence Agency. So we know we can trust him. We know we can trust a lady who doesn't really look like a lady on television, who's sitting next to a guy who looks like he's wearing a mask, who's a fake space genius, while they talk about aliens visiting somebody's backyard, right? In a whistleblower who's part of a space intelligence agency. You know, all that means you can trust the story. That means everything's legit. all whistleblowers, whether they prosecute them or whatever, or make it look like they're going after them or whatever, all the whistleblowers are fake. So, like Snowden and anybody who the TV refers to as whistleblower is going to be controlled ops. People they don't want you to know about, like Jake the Asshole, they have a gag order in place to not say Jake the Asshole or Jacob Gibson. So the last thing that they'll refer to is somebody like me. Even though I tell, 1,000 times more truth than they do, that's the reason why they don't want to ever refer to somebody like me. So instead, they got to give him credentials like he was part of the Air Force. He's part of a space agency, intelligence. He's a whistleblower. Nika Tromus with a donation says, thanks for the show, Jake. You and Tim Osman are the best in the business. You guys should get together on a live stream sometime. I've called into his stream several different times. Tim does talk about the world stage quite a bit, and I agree with most of what he says. However, his stance on chemtrails is just absolute bunk. So he says that there are no chemtrails and it's fake, but I disagree because I've been to Las Vegas and I've seen the city littered with trails, and I've been to Phoenix and I've seen the city littered with trails. And the thing is, if you go to Las Vegas or Phoenix during July or August when there's zero humidity and when the temperatures are well over 100 degrees, you have to ask yourself how ice crystals are going to linger over those cities and spread out. So one thing about Tim is that he likes to maintain that those are just contrails. And to that, I say, if they're dumping fluoride in our water, amongst other things, the air is definitely not something that they're not going to tamper with. It's not the air's not off limits. So if they're dumping shit in the water that's been proven to be poison, then they're dumping shit in the air that is also poison. And anyone who says those are just contrails, will find one of those contrails where it starts and then stops and then starts again. The ones that have a gap in them. And Tim will tell you that's the plane flew through a dry patch. But he won't go up there and test the air and prove that there's wet and dry patches that these planes are flying through. He'll say the burden of proof is on you to prove that it's chemicals. So he basically takes the stance of Mick West, a shill, on that argument. Funny. So I agree with almost everything Tim talks about, except there's some topics where he comes off clearly as controlled opposition. Chemtrails being one of them. And his own audience has told him that he's wrong, but he continues every stream to mention how chemtrails is not real and it's a guardrail conspiracy for Trump voters. No, it's not. That's not true at all. They dump poison in the water. They dump fluoride in the water. This has been proven. It's been proven not to be healthy. So why would they not mess with the air? And people would say, like, well, why would they poison themselves? They breathe that air too. No, the elites don't breathe that same air. The cities where they grid pattern tons of trails, the cities that get totally slammed like Vegas, Phoenix during summertime when there's no humidity, where it can't be anything else but some sort of additive. There's no way to argue around it unless somebody can go up there and prove that the planes are flying through a dry patch. So until someone takes their ass on up there and proves that a contrail can stop and start and stop and start above the city of Las Vegas on a day where it's 110 and no humidity, if they can go up there and prove that just above the city is a lake of humidity, I'd love to see it. But other than that, Tim does a good job at breaking down the world stage. Yes, there are patents from the government which outline spraying small metallic materials in the air to redeflect sunlight out in the atmosphere and basically reverse global warming. So science, mainstream science, has these methods which they came up with these patents to reverse global warming, which we know is a lie. And their methods include spraying metallic material in the air to supposedly redeflect sunlight. So if they come up with these methods and their story is that they're going to combat global warming, well, if I'm already seeing this happening, sprays, metallic sprays, particulates in the air, them spraying out the sun. A lot of times late in the day, they spray right in front of the sun purposely. So if I'm already seeing this, and then the patents exist, which outline what I'm already seeing, it's kind of hard to argue it's just a contrail, the same as your breath. Now, if my breath came out of my mouth and then hung around and lingered, like, and spread out, well, that would change things. But see, my breath disappears right away. So if anyone who says a contrail is the same thing as your breath, well, what about the ones that linger and stay there and spread out for hours? My breath has never done that. I've never went and then on a cold day, like come back in an hour and be like, look, my breath is still there. My breath has spread out. Look, my breath is there from 30 minutes ago. No, it disappears automatically. So plain contrail sticking around for an hour and spreading out and turning the whole sky gray, definitely not what they're telling you. And so that's why guys like Tim Osman, I can't get in his camp completely because he completely pushes the Mick West narrative that it's just contrails. There could be some truth to blocking out the sun. That's definitely something, if you remember, was in The Simpsons. The Simpsons had a series of episodes where Mr. Burns was blocking out the sun with this mechanical device that just straight up blocked out the sun during the day. And everyone had to use Burns brand electricity or something like that. And it ended up like where he got murdered. And then there was a murder story over him doing that. But when you look at the predictive programming, them blocking out the sun, I've seen them spray in front of the sun at sunset many, many times where there's no reason for it. It's not like, oh yeah, the flight path just has to go right in front of that setting sun each day and spray shit as it goes down. Because a lot of times if I go to the beach, like the sunset will be amazing, but it's like they always spray shit in front of it and then sheeple think that that's pretty. But it's rare that you get to have like a completely unblocked sunset because it's like a lot of times they'll late in the day spray shit just directly in front of it. Okay, let's switch subjects. We pretty much proved that the alien in the backyard story is complete bullshit, so we'll go ahead and finish up with that. What I did want to show you guys, though, it was brought up earlier, Alex Stein. I did want to show you guys.
Keep it quilted means you keep it the best.
1 sec.
3 layers of plush comfort you can see and
I'm gonna pull up a video show you guys what the controlled opposition comedy is doing. This is a Illuminati comedy. This is what they want you to think is funny. All right. So here you got Alex Stein in public where people bring their children and stuff, putting on a rainbow swimsuit. He's got his bulge sticking out. And this is him supposedly gaslighting the left, right? He's making fun of the woke left by dressing up in a woman's bathing suit and going to places where there's going to be children. See how that works? Like I said, it's kind of like trying to make fun of somebody who's gay by like blowing someone. Like, I'm going to make fun of gay people by ironically blowing a dude. Ha ha ha, because it's so funny. So he's trying to gaslight the woke left by subjecting the public to him wearing a woman's bathing suit. Right. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So this is what they want you to think is comedy, folks. They want you to think, you know, this is funny. Whenever a man puts on a woman's clothes, it's just so funny. Like, don't have jokes with a punchline. No. Just put on some women's clothes, because that has never been done before. Isn't it so original? So original for a man to put on a woman's clothes and go out in public. God, that's never been done before. So original. Wow, what a progressive, forward-thinking comedian this guy is. He sure is taking the piss out of the lefties by dressing up as one of them and being one of them.
This is not, you guys see this? It's cut friendly. You see? Extra close. Yeah, I saw it on TikTok too. This strap right here, it just looks so good.
So that's the whole bit. Just go out in public and wear women's clothing, right? Alex Stein, the grind. When the guy first started going viral and was on Tucker Carlson, people were kissing this guy's ass, talking about how funny he was. Well, now what? How funny is he now? Didn't take long for him to devolve into drag queen. If that's what he is, okay, but like, he's not taking the piss out of the woke left. He's not making fun of the woke left. He's wearing a woman's bathing suit in public. That's what he's doing. So this is what a controlled opposition comic does to get views and to make people laugh. There you go. So if that's the kind of comedy you want to get down with, a man dressing up like a lady and going out in public, right? Right? Can you imagine all the people who follow this guy think he's so funny? Oh, he's just taking the piss out of the liberals. You don't see how he's making fun of the liberals? No, I don't. Looks like he is one of them. In fact, he's worse than a liberal now.
Alex Stein on the grind 99. I'm a shrimp on a blimp eating shit off a dick in the grind Stein 9 and it's time in the grind 99.
Always a Stein. All right. Speaking of, do you guys hear about Dodgers Pride Night? You guys got to see this. Dodgers Pride Night.
Protesting the Dodgers' 10th annual Pride Night, an event that celebrates inclusion and diversity. The groups had rallied against an activist organization made up of drag queens dressed as nuns.
That's right, but the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence say they had no issue with the protests. Thousands of demonstrators briefly blocked the entrance to Dodger Stadium. They protested against the nuns, saying that they mocked the Catholic religion.
The protests were largely peaceful, though. Chris Wolf joining us live from Dodger Stadium, where celebration and condemnation were on full display tonight. Chris?
Yeah, that's right, Rick and Cher. There was an extra heavy police presence outside Dodger Stadium today, but we can tell you there were no major problems or arrests connected to these demonstrations. They came by the hundreds, if not thousands, swarming around Dodger Stadium for Pride Night 2023. Throngs of the faithful, a coalition of Catholic and Christian groups and activists, protesting what they consider an affront to their religion and core beliefs.
Jesus Christ is not only our Lord, he's the Lord of America.
Before the Dodgers took on the San Francisco Giants, they paid special tribute to a group called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. The members in drag are heavily made up with different names and personas, but all don variations of their traditional nun's habit.
Okay, so here's the story. The Dodgers baseball team wanted to do Pride Night, and they invited this group of individuals that you see on screen here, and then they uninvited them, and then they re-invited them. Now, this is basically right down the exact same road. It's almost the exact same story as Bud Light having that person promote their product, right? And we all remember when Bud Light had that person promote their product, there was a huge backlash and they lost billions of dollars. Well, this is basically the same story. So they basically will force something down your throat that they know is going to have backlash. And then when it doesn't work out, they have to make it out like it was a lesson that they learned and they'll never do that again. They're doing this shit on purpose. So like when Bud Light used that person to promote their product, they knew they were going to lose money. When the Dodgers do this Pride Night, they know they're going to lose money. The money's not real. So they purposely put on these events where they know no one's going to show up to Pride Night. They know that they're going to lose money by doing this and associating their product with this garbage. They do it on purpose because the money isn't real. It all gets put back in their bank account. So these stories, they get you to talk. They get you to think and feel a certain way. In a certain way, they get you to think and feel. I think it sets the table for Trump's return. So it's hard to correlate the two, but I feel like stuff like this gets people fired up and in Trump's corner more so. Like, I'm sick of this shit. Just because of Joe Biden being president, we got to deal with all this shit. If Trump comes back, this shit's going to end. So I feel like we're seeing the fake indictment of Trump, the fake arrest of Trump, to rally the people behind Trump. And we see these events right here to further anger the folks on the right and get them fired up for a savior to come along and fix all this. But make no mistake about it, when they lose money by doing these things, they know going into it there's going to be a backlash and that they're going to lose money. So like when Bud Light did their whole promotion with one of these type of characters, they weren't surprised that they lost billions. They go into it knowing they're going to lose billions. The money's fake. It's just digits on a screen. When gigantic companies lose billions of dollars, or sports organizations, it doesn't matter. They get bailed out anyway. So don't think for a second that the Dodgers thought that this was going to go over swell. And it just so happened to blow up in their face. Now, they want you thinking that. They want you to think like, ha, Dodgers, you should have never did this. Watch, you'll see. The Dodgers, the next scene we show, it's going to be Pride Night at Dodger Stadium, and like it's an empty stadium. Nobody shows up.
That fact distresses or outrages countless Catholics and Christians, driving many of them to demonstrate and rally before Friday night's game, the culmination of weeks of fiery debate and flip-flopping. First, the Dodgers invited the sisters to Pride Night, then disinvited them, then re-invited them. Finally, on the field, when the stadium was still fairly empty before the festivities, the ball club honored the group with the 2023 Community Hero Award for charitable and humanitarian work.
That filled me not only with joy and gladness, but a sense of safeness and security, and a sense that who I am, as ridiculous as this may be, is welcome on the face of the earth.
I think everyone's after a good cause.
Even though that happened, people could kind of learn a lesson from it.
Okay, my thing is like, drag queens are accepted at drag queen shows. And there are people who like to go watch drag queen shows. So why do they have to like be like the main event at baseball, which has nothing to do with them? And I would argue that those people probably don't watch baseball. Just gonna guess that they probably aren't huge baseball fans. But the team has to take time to dedicate to these certain group of people. Gee, why would the Dodgers do that? Out of all the things the Dodgers could do, makes no sense for them to just pick this group of nuns who dress this certain way. Of course, there's going to be outrage. And of course, that's all planned too. So all the outrage and the oh fuck. Forgot what I was going to say. All the backlash that you see, that's manufactured and fake too. So when you see the cameras there, not everyone in the protest is going to be an actor per se, but the majority of them are. So it's usually actor-controlled protests, and then a few useful idiots sprinkled about.
Still be able to love and like invite people and just be open with everybody.
Not everyone is supportive.
Yeah, my concerns is that they're not sisters. And they're ridiculing the good sisters in the Catholic Church.
We're here to pray for them as well, because we don't know why they feel that they need to do this.
So, as activists, we cannot fault anyone for using protest to express their First Amendment rights. We hope that the people remain vociferous but peaceful.
We will honor our king.
The San Francisco Giants beat the Dodgers 7-5 in extra innings. Next up will be the Dodgers Christian Faith and Family Day on July 30th.
Yeah, you do Pride Night one night, and then you do Christian Faith and Family Night the next night, and then you do, Beat Your Wife at the Park night, and then you do, Asian Pride Night, and then you do a Homeless Pride Night, right? Let's have a different sort of Pride Night. Have a different sort of theme night every night. Cover all the bases of every type of people that there is. DA says, rat my neighbor's ass night. Hey, man, might as well, if you have Pride Night that draws 0 people, rat my neighbor's ass night might draw a few more than 0. Oh yeah, I meant to show you guys the turnout. There you go. Here's the turnout.
Break free from overpriced wire.
Right after this commercial.
Back and forth, the Los Angeles Dodgers invite the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence to their Pride Night. The decision has sparked passionate voices on both sides of the debate.
They will invite this group that mocks the Catholic faith and makes fun of the Catholic religion.
I'm glad the Dodgers re-invited them for sure. I think a lesson to be learned through all this is don't back down to bullies.
Hundreds of people demonstrated outside Dodger Stadium.
You can see from some of the pictures that it was largely an empty stadium.
There you go. That's how many people showed up for that. It didn't work out so well for them. I accidentally hit the back button and it backed me out of my stream. But I'm back now. All right. So there you go. Dodger Pride Night, empty stadium. But it's all by design. They knew that that was going to happen. They shove it down your throat regardless. All right. And we'll finish up with this Trump crap before I get off here. So whenever you see all the news outlets running with the same story, again, that's definitely hardcore propaganda, fake bullshit. So we're in election season, so they got to keep these puppets talked about in the mainstream news. They need to keep you thinking about it. They need you to choose your guy. And it's looking like they're propping up Trump for another presidential run. It seems like the way they're making it out like he's being indicted and arrested, blah, blah. What that does is it fires up his supporters even more so. It makes them even more diehard. And so Trump supporters look at this as the deep state trying to bring down their guy. Well, if they didn't want to, if they don't want him to be president, you could tell they're trying to keep him from the presidency. You could tell they don't want him in there. So they want you to think that he's being held down. The bad guys are trying to keep him from becoming president again. That's always their story. These Trump supporters is that their guy's a good guy and he's being held down by the bad guys. And so this sort of propaganda right here really tugs on the heartstrings of the Trump supporter. Well, our guy's being attacked. They wouldn't attack him so much if he wasn't a good guy. Look at the deep state trying to bring him down, keep him from being the president again. So here's the thing. Trump's not being arrested. He's just an actor on the stage. So they give you this whole like, oh, they found classified documents at his house and this and that, as if there's like a piece of papers that are classified that he like carries around and gets caught with and then gonna possibly go to jail or get in trouble. It's all just fake story, just fake bullshit. And the public eats that shit up. So there's stories they can run about Biden possibly being indicted, Trump possibly being indicted, Hunter Biden's laptop, and this classified document. Oh, did you hear he got caught with classified documents? You know, pieces of paper that are classified that you're not supposed to have, and he has them. So that if you're against Trump, then you're like, good, I want that guy to be in jail. That guy sucks. He's evil. And if you're for Trump, then it's the deep state trying to hold him down. It's the bad guys trying to keep him from winning the presidency, which fires the Trump voters up even more. It gets them rallied behind their guy more so. So when you see this sort of news, it's Trump support news, even if it looks like it's negative. This sort of shit rallies Trump voters. They love it. They feast on this shit. See what Iowa Republicans are thinking after Trump's federal indictment. FBI whistleblowers testify before weaponization panel of Congress. Trump's alleged conduct. Fox guest goes off script on Trump indictment. Oh yeah, sure. I bet a Fox reporter, somebody associated with a mainstream media news outlet, they definitely went off script as opposed to being on script, right? They definitely, for this, they went off script. Sure. So this is all just designed to keep you fired up for election season. Kind of like promoting a football game. Like before the Super Bowl, they got to run nonstop promotion on both sides. Get you fired up for the game. This is like get you fired up for the election shit. Yes, Trump's going to save us from nuclear fallout. All right. The most important thing that we need to be focused on is nuclear fallout. When I return as your president, I'm not only going to install Trumptricity, all right, I'm going to make China pay for the whole thing. And then we're going to finish building that wall across Mexico. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put that woman in jail. You know that woman? I'm going to put her in jail. You know which woman I'm referring to. She's a democrat. I'm going to put her behind bars. Now, this can't happen unless I am president. See, Trump supporters are like, I know he can't put her in jail. He can't put her in Gitmo until he returns as president. When he comes back as president, that's when he's going to put her in Gitmo once and for all. Now, hardcore Trump supporters will say that Hillary's already been executed at Gitmo, and she's already been replaced by a lookalike. The hardest core Trump tards will tell you that, like, Tom Hanks has been executed at Gitmo. Obama and Michael Obama got executed at Gitmo, replaced by clones and lookalikes. Trump is already president. And see, the story sounds good to them. Like, you don't see her around no more. It's because they done executed her and replaced her with a clone. Black Sheep says you should do longer streams. I usually go for 2 to 3 hours. We're already 2 hours into this one. So typically 2-3 hours, and then I start getting tired. That usually is our sweet spot. This guy wants me to do an Arnold impression. I did one for like a minute earlier. If you remember when I told you to screw your freedom, I did not mean it that I wanted you to actually screw off with your freedom. What I meant was I wanted to just be very careful, and you need to wash your hands, and you need to take the proper precautions, because you do not want the COVID to get inside of your sinuses and they give you the sinus infection, and so you need to wash your hands all of the time, the once, the twice, the 3 times a day. And then you need to take the chemical concoction and you need to get boosted. You need to get boosted every chance that you get. You need to take the booster inside the chemical concoction and you need to get pumped up. If you do not take the chemical concoction and you do not get pumped up, then of course I will reiterate that you need to have screw your freedom. I guess. There you go. There's some Arnold for you. Black Sheep says no sound. Well, how is everyone posting laughing emojis if there's no sound? Pretty sure that means there is sound. My name is Detective John Kimball. I like how they would give him an American name. I am a police officer. My name is Detective John Kimball. I went to the police academy and then I grew up in America and I do not have an accent at all. And then I got into the police force and I'm trying to raise my family on the police officer's salary. I'm Detective John Kimball. It's like, why wouldn't they just give him like an Austrian or German style name and then like come up with some story that he transferred from like Germany or whatever? Then it would make more sense. But it was always like some like, hi, I'm going to be a teacher. This is a kindergarten and I'm going to be a cop at the kindergarten. And they called the movie Kindergarten Cop. And who is your daddy and what does he do? I want everybody to sit down and to tell me what the daddy does. If you do not tell me what your daddy do, then I'm going to put you in a timeout. I feel like I'm having a tumor. It's not a tumor, but it feels like a tumor. You don't know what a tumor is unless I tell you that it's not a tumor. All right. Whew, sometimes I get caught up doing the impression. I just can't stop. It's like addictive. That's the whole point. You take the Arnold voice, but then you just like really overdo it for maximum laugh potential. Yeah, the prank call using that voice. I've seen that before too. Sup, Jake says quest for greatness. What's up, quest for greatness? Sup to everybody.
Get to the chopper. Of course, if you say chopper, it saves some time if a bad guy is about to shoot you. And then you say get to the helicopter. You, of course, could get shot in the head. So you say get to the chopper. It is a time saver. It saves the time of not having to say helicopter. Instead, you say chopper and it saves you a fraction of time. A fraction of a second could be life-saving. In a life-saving situation, you want to say get to the chopper. You do not want to take the full time to say helicopter. I cannot stress enough how much of a time saver the whole thing is.
Oh, apparently Pat took down all the slander that he posted of me and changed his name to NFL is rigged. So apparently he's going to go back to the well. He realized how much of a loser he is and nobody wants to watch anything that he puts out. And he said he quits doing the NFL rigged content, but now he's going to come back and do it again, I guess, because he such a sorry loser. He has to get the attention somehow, some way, even though he said he was going to quit because I whooped his ass in the ratings so badly. So I'm going to squash him like a bug again. I'm going to smash him in the ratings every chance I get this next season. You hear that, Pat? I'm going to squash you like a bug, you loser. I'm going to make you quit again. You quit last season because your content sucked. And when we went head to head, I smashed you. I was like the WWF Attitude Era, and you were like the dying days of WCW. I owned you. And that's what's going to happen again, Pat, this next season. I'm going to smash you in the ratings. I will own you. You think you're going to come back and do NFL rigged content again? Remember what happened last time, punk? I got millions and millions of views, and you got jack shit. See, I know he watches everything I do, and he can't make up his mind whether he wants to quit or come back, whether he wants to slander me, whether he doesn't. Michael Calderon says, hello from Lathrop, California. You from Modesto? Yes, Modesto is my hometown. That's where I was born and raised. On a playground is where I spent most of my days. No, I live in Sacramento area now, but Modesto is my hometown. Yeah. CQ63 says, did you hear Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are brothers now? No. Like they're actually calling themselves brothers? I don't get it. No, I haven't heard that. But it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Yep. Old P-Do Stash Pat. He quit doing NFL rigged content because I whipped his ass so badly. And then he started posting poker videos that only like 100 people would watch or less. And then he realized he's such a gigantic loser that the only thing he had in his life was NFL rigged. So after he said that he quit, now he's going to go back on his word, and he changed his name to The NFL is Rigged. So now his name isn't Pat anymore. His name is The NFL is Rigged. So now he thinks he's going to go back to doing that content. All right, buddy. Prepare to get crushed again, Pat. Oh, yeah, I expect to go down to Muff Punt City once the season starts. Definitely. I expect week 1 to be full of super rigged games, tons of shenanigans. You got balls bouncing off the uprights. Return of the doinks, I should say. Most likely some Muff Punt cities. And I'll be there to cover it. Yeah, apparently, I guess he thinks he's gonna like do another season, even though he said he hates the NFL and he doesn't like doing the videos. And last season, his content really struggled versus mine. I guess he thinks he's gonna give it another go after he took his ball and went home. He's one of those kids who takes his ball and goes home, but then next week he comes back and asks you if you want to play ball. Oh, I guess Faith is taking off. Good night, Faith. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, yes. How could I forget about the butt punt? Hopefully we get more butt punts this next season. Butt punts for all. All right, y'all. I think I'm about done on here. I covered the backyard stuff and the Trump shit and whatever else I talked about. So that's good for tonight. So I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll get off here, and I'll catch you guys in a few days or whenever, and we'll stream again. So until next time, this is Jake the Asshole signing off. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. All those who donated, all those who contributed their conversation tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.